Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. There's saga, there's drama in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow says he wants the team to pay star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. He says the team not paying Hendrickson is a significant distraction. Let's take a listen to what Joe had to say.
Jamar and T having agreed to deals. Is Trey being here, his deal not done? Is that a distraction?
Of course. Last year we had 2. This year we have 1, so we do have less. You'd love to have none, but, that's life in the NFL. We're all supporting Trey and would love for him to be back.
Ocho?
Yes, sir.
What's your take?
Well, listen, I love Joe. Joe also has to understand this is business. This is business, and the Browns have one way of doing things. They've done things one way. And despite what he may say, despite his concerns about wanting Trey to be paid or it being a distraction with him not getting paid, this is the way they conduct business. All teams conduct business in the same manner. They're not going to be swayed or forced or bullied into paying an individual based on how we as players
or fans
or fans see fit. They're going to do things their way. They paid Joe Burrow. They paid Jamar Chase. They paid T. Higgins. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I don't know how much is left in calories, salary cap space. But
not enough to pay Trey what he wants.
Actually, not enough to pay him what he wants. But I'm assuming maybe they're trying to find some middle ground. But from what I've heard, there are no talks going on at all. So obviously, Trey is standing his ground, and he's not in a position, despite being the sack leader last year and the sack leader before that, the year before that. Like, he was the sack leader, but what was our defense rank? Can someone can Ash look that up right now? I mean, just really quick. Just curious.
Well, without Trey, you'd have been 17th in college. So you had Trey, so you was at the bottom at the NFL.
Yeah, okay, so they look at all that. Look at all that. Listen, I want him to get paid. I want him to get paid based on what he's done, to date. But they look at it completely different than the way we look at it as fans. And obviously, me, listen, I love my Bengals, and I would love for Trey to get paid. But it's a tough spot that we're in. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think at some point, if things don't get worked out, I'm assuming maybe a trade of some sort might happen at the least opportune time when we least expect it.
I look at it like this, Ocho, considering he's their best defensive player. And when you look at that defensive line, who else? Most teams have 2 guys.
Yes.
You have Micah and then you have another guy. Or you look at, let's just say for the sake of argument, you look at the Eagles. They have multiple guys. You look at Kansas City. They have Chris Jones and have Kaloftis. They have multiple guys. Most teams, although they're not on the same level, but they have, you look at Highsmith and you look at Watt. Mm-hmm. So most guys have somebody to play off of. Right. It's him. Yeah. He led the league in sacks with really no one else beside him.
And brother Sam Hubbard just retired, huh?
Yes. Sam Hubbard remember, he was hurt most of the year, Ocho.
Yeah, he was hurt. And also, when I think about it, I look at the AFC North, right? From an offensive standpoint. And needing defensive players. It's bad enough we were already bad on defense. Let's not make it worse.
Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Houston.
And my goodness, like we need Trey in the dearest way possible to try to do what we can defensively, so we can start a little better this season. I know we always talk about the offense. They always start slow, always out the gate. Being 0-2 or 1-1 or whatever.
You got to stop somebody though.
Yeah, we got to.
See, their problem is, Ocho. Okay, you say, I'm saying, but here's the thing. They have 2 bad possessions. Their defense can't stop anybody. Now, all of a sudden, you're 14 points down.
Hey.
You got a lead. Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, you have a lead. And we saw this against Baltimore. They have 2 bad possessions. Now Baltimore has the lead.
Yeah.
So
how far away are we from having a decent defense? Just curious. From your listen, this is
ooh
biased.
And y'all just cut Pratt. Remember, y'all released Pratt.
Yeah. So wait, hold on. Pratt was the middle back, was the Mike
Linebacker. Yeah, he led your team in tackles.
Yeah, he did. So Logan Wilson plays. I mean,
They drafted somebody in the second round out of South Carolina. I was reading yesterday at night.
He must gonna be.
And they seem really high on him. Yeah,
he gonna plug and play then, huh?
Yeah.
And
remember, Pratt was like, hey, he wanted a contract extension. He wanted to be, want a bump in pay. They're like, nah, bro, we can't bump you in pay. I was reading, I don't know, maybe somebody just throwing out numbers. I think Trey's supposed to make, 15, 16, 17 million? 17, They're trying to get him to 28. I don't think he's looking at listening to anything that doesn't start with a 3. Now, I'm not. Now, I honestly, because you see, he's like, hold on. One guy making 55, another guy making 40, another guy making 30, and then y'all want me to come in at 28. And he see Myles Garrett. He knows Michael is about to get something that starts with a 4, and y'all want me to start with a 2.
Yeah,
I just don't see that.
Let's be fair. If he wants to get what he wants, he's not going to be able to get it because of everything you just ran off. We just paid 140, 130, and one making 55. Then there's no room for you to make. Do you take a discount? Do you take a discount or no?
The question is, better question. Does he miss the first 8 games and then come back the last 8 games to make sure he gets a credited season? Or because that's what I would do. Because if you don't come back, they still have your rights.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, it all depends on how serious he is about his money.
Oh, he's serious.
Okay.
He's serious. And this is the thing that you can do. When they know you love the game, Unc, when they know you love the game and they know you can't stay away from the game, they always want you to be team first, team that, team this, and team oriented and be the. But when it comes time to play, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Now, I just talk about the Bengals in general. I'm talking about in general.
Oh,
They will use your love for the game against you because the business side of things will sneak up on you and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'm trying to think of a guy that Sean Gilbert might be the only guy that I can remember that missed the whole season, and then he ended up turning around and getting paid. I think he went to Carolina. I think he's with Washington, and he ended up going to Carolina. It might be vice versa, but that's what I think the thing is to say what I would do is easy to say because you're not in that situation.
Right.
Me, I ain't missing no time. I understood that that was time I wasn't going to be able to get back. And like you said, Ocho, I think the thing is they know the guys that really, everybody don't love the game like we do now.
Yeah, no, it's
so they go hard time us. Well, this is all we got, knowing damn well we might miss a game, but we ain't missing no half of those seasons, no entire season, because we love it too much.
Listen, the funny thing about it is I love the game, but I think during my time I was in fortunate situations. I think they came to me early twice.
Right.
They came to me early where I didn't have to deal with that type of situation. It just, to me, it's almost a slap in the face a little bit, Unc, when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's almost a slap in the face. And we take it personally as players, and I know they do when situations like this arise, when you understand what your value is, you understand what the market is, and then you have a team that's hesitant in giving you said market value. Also making it hard. Listen, one thing about it, I don't care how many players you got paid. There's always a way to make it happen, depending on who the player is. You do understand that, right?
Yes, but my thing is what I don't get from the Bengals, Ocho, if you had this problem last year and you didn't resolve it during the season or after the season, what makes you think the problem is going to go away? It's like if you have a disease and don't talk about it. Well, just because you don't talk about it, you better go get it. You better treat it.
Yeah.
Because talking about it, but because not talking about a problem, like it's like two people argued, Ocho, and you go to bed. That issue is not going to be resolved in the morning because you didn't talk about it that night. As a matter of fact, you're going to give people an opportunity to build up. They're like, this mofo playing with me. They couldn't address me. They know so you lay it over there steaming. She lay it over there steaming. You know, you get out of bed in the morning, you stepping on lips because her lip poked out to the floor. His lips poked out to the floor. So I don't understand how the Bengals thought this situation. And he had another 17.5 sack season, and he led the NFL in sacks. And somehow you thought he was going to, well, we got a good chance to go. You had a good chance to go to the Super Bowl last year or the playoffs last year, and it didn't happen. Guys are not, teams always want you to think big picture. No, the big picture is me and my family. That's the big picture I'm thinking about. I don't know what picture y'all painting. Because Ocho, what they tell you, Ocho, when they release players, you hear and I think we're gonna talk about this a little later. Jair and Gutekunst said what he said. They're always thinking about what is in the best interest of the team. Okay, what is the best interest of the business? Okay, players are businesses.
Yes.
What is in the best interest of Trey Hendrickson? Not playing is in the best interest of Trey Hendrickson. Being all honest, now I'm not telling the guy what he should or what he shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But this is what we do know. He take his ass out there on that field and he get anything that happens. And Lord forbid it does not.
Yes, sir.
He ain't getting no payday. You know that, I know that.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Listen, I think it's tough. We're in a tough spot. The Bengals organization is in a tough spot. Trey Hendrickson is in a tough spot. Joe Burrow saying that it's a distraction to those that are in the organization, those that are on the team, those that are at minicamp right now. I think for the fans, it's a distraction and it's just like overwhelming. And they're like, God damn, here we go again. But again, as fans, as players, you have to be able to separate the personal side of being a football player in the business side. I think if you can compartmentalize and be able to separate the two and understand that it is business first, it's not personal, it's nothing against you as a player, but this is the way they conduct themselves, not just with the Bengals, but with every team in general. I think you'll be all right. I want Trey to get his money, though. You know, even if it's not with us, I would love to see him back with the Bengals, but I would also love to see him get what he deserves somewhere else.
Because I think the thing is, Ocho, what happens is that Joe would like to talk about what a great day of practice they've had.
Yes, sir.
But the media is asking him about Trey's contract. They're asking him about the rookie's contract, who we're going to talk about in just a second. So he's like, bro, I'm trying to say, hey, T and I had a great comment, had a great work today. We got some great work done today. We got better today. But you're asking me about a player that's not here. I don't know what you want me to say. Right. Joe is being the leader that he is. Yeah, we love to have Trey. And I think he's done enough he's earned, not deserved, he's earned a raise in pay. Yeah. Because guess what? Let's just say for the sake of argument, Ocho, instead of having 17 and a half sacks, he had 5.5 sacks. Do you think they would keep him on the contract that he has now? Absolutely not. I answer it for you. No, they wouldn't. So now he outperforms the contract. You don't want to reward him. But if he underperforms, you'll punish him.
Yes.
That's the way it is. And hopefully fans like see that. And I understand, look, I understand you running a business, but guys normally play better. Guys after being in, a business, your workers perform better when they're compensated.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and you're happy.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons. Why do you think they always go ahead and pay the quarterback?
Yes.
They always pay the quarterback. You get your quarterback out the way so he has nothing to worry about. He's in the right state of mind and he can focus on the job at hand. No distractions. And again, not being able to get your money after putting in all the work, the sacrifice, the sweat, the injuries.
He led the entire league in sacks. He did that. He had 17 and a half. He was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. And he's probably thinking to himself, what the hell do I have to do to get rewarded for my hard work?
Yeah. That's crazy. It's unfortunate. And listen, it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Yes.
It just so happens it's his turn.
His turn. Bengals rookie Shamar Stewart is still waiting to take his first practice rep in the NFL. He also had some words for the Bengals today in comparing his situation with Trey's. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Like some people say, we all agree Trey will be right? But technically he's still 1% wrong for being under contract. So in my case, I'm 100% right. So it should be a no-brainer. And in Trey's case, I think it should be a no-brainer too. He led 17 and a half sacks for 2 years back-to-back. If I was the GM or I was the owner, take all my money. But I guess they don't operate like that. But
no, they do not.
Hey, listen. Hey, Unc, it's easy to say take all my money when you're not the GM.
It's somebody else's money.
Oh, yes.
Hey, man, get all Ocho money. Don't bother mine.
It's easy to say that, but listen, you learn quick. You learn quick and you learn fast. A rookie will understand that this is a business and it's run a little different. It's running a little different. Now he's had 17 and a half sacks back-to-back seasons, right? And then they're hesitant on paying him. So in situations like this will tell you how they really feel about you.
Yes.
Because depending on who the player is and how much they value you and what you bring to the table, oh man, they're not even playing when it's time to get paid. I don't care who you are.
This is what Mike Florio, a Pro Football Focus, right? This is Football Talk, PFT. He said the Bengals have decided to wedge a new clause into Stewart's deal. The clause would turn a default in any given year into a void of all remaining guarantees. And prior, Bengals contract, a void wiped out only the guarantees for the year in which the default occurred. Stewart refuses to be the guinea pig for the new term, and the Bengals refuse to blink. As a result, Stewart will be less prepared for training camp than he would have been. So in other words, a lot of times they put a clause in there, Ocho. It says if you do something wrong, the money you were supposed to get in that year is wiped away. Now they put the new clause in there and say if you do something wrong, any guarantee that you're supposed to get in 25, 26, 27, 28, that's gone too. Oh, no, hell no.
I understand. To me, honestly, I don't like the verbiage. But again, I would have it on a year-to-year basis. If this year, if you mess up, and if it's conduct detrimental to the team, or something that is that serious where we need to recoup some of that money back that's guaranteed, I see fit to do so.
Yes.
But messing up one
devoid all the remaining guarantees.
Oh, absolutely not. Hell no. Not over what? But don't make me curse. Don't make me curse because I just got saved the other day. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But see,
listen, I know they're trying to set a precedent. I'm not sure what precedent.
Not with me, you're not.
Listen, outside of don't get in any trouble. Period. I don't know if he has a past history of doing things wrong. I don't know. For them to actually want to put that clause in his contract all of a sudden, out the blue, set a precedent with this individual. Yeah. I'm not sure what his badge looks like. That's the only thing I can think of and why they would want to do something like that.
And no, but it seems to be like this is something that they're trying to do moving forward.
To everybody?
Yes.
It
says because the clause would turn the default in any given year into a void of all remaining guarantees. In prior Bengals contracts, a void wiped out only guarantees for which the year the default occurred. So if he did something in 25, okay, we wipe out the guarantees in 25. 26, 27, 28 is protected. Now they're saying if you default in 25, 26, 27, 28 get wiped away. Oh, hell no, Ocho.
Damn.
That's the whole purpose of guarantees, is to be able to get the guarantee.
Yes. Yeah. I have a question. Are there any other NFL teams that practice the same clause in their contracts? Or we wouldn't know that, huh?
Well, there's some you have a contract. Let's just say for the sake of argument, you in the NFL, you're a wide receiver. Or it's like coaches, like a college, like an NFL coach. I get you say I got 3 years left on my deal at $12 million a year.
Yes, sir.
I get a new job, whatever. So now it offsets. So what they have is offset language. So if I get a job from another team, however much that team pays, that I have to pay the remaining. So if I get a deal for $9 million over there, I only have to pay $3 million over here where I got left at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people right in, there is no offset language. Jimbo Fisher got released. He gets all 80 of that remaining money.
It was 82 to be exact.
Okay.
I remember that.
So sometimes they try to put offset language where you can't double dip. Players can't double dip. So if you get released and you go sign with another team, I ain't got nothing to do with you. I want the money that you owe me, and I'm going to get the money they're going to give me. Right. Don't you worry about what I got. You just go make sure that, just go ahead and make sure you keep the checks coming. I won't be, you got the wire number. Go and put it in there. Direct deposit. So that's, and some teams will have offset language if you get another job. Even in TV, You get released by one network, you go somewhere else, they just pay the difference. So you got X, whatever the case may be. So if you get say $5 million over here, you only get 2.5 over there, you're gonna get 2.5.
Hey, Unc, man, this is as much as people love the beautiful game, I don't think they understand the nasty business side of it.
No, they don't.
The nasty business side of it. It can get ugly. It can get very ugly. And the fact there's a reason why when it comes to contracts and negotiations or situations like this, there's a reason why the agents go in there and not the players. Because if the players go in those rooms and you hear how owners really feel about you and what they really want to do and the language they want to put in the fine print language that they want to put in contracts to protect themselves from having to pay you long term if you mess up. Listen, it was some stuff. I don't want to bring up the past, but it was some stuff in T's contract and in Chase's contract that wasn't suitable. It wasn't right. So if they were doing it to T and Chase, who the meat and potatoes of that offense outside of Joe, I know they're gonna do it to Trey, and they definitely gonna do it to the rookie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, but it's business, man. It's business. Yeah. It's never personal.
I'm like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? Hey, I'm gonna call Joe Burrow agent. Hey, bro, y'all got this language in your contract? They do it all the time.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. Nah, bro, I'm not finna be no guinea pig. You're not finna set no precedent with me. Right. And then everybody that comes after me, they looking at me crazy because I allowed it to happen because I was the highest draft pick the year that they started this foolishness, and I agreed to it.
Now, how can this go though? What if he refuses to play? What if he refuses to sign the contract unless they remove that language? What happens?
That's it. They either have to remove the language or he has to say, I'm not playing.
Ooh, that can get ugly, huh?
Mm-hmm. I hope he got some good NIL money. He hadn't spent too much. He hadn't promised his mom or dad or whomever a house yet.
Right. Damn. I don't like that for him.
I don't either.